Can your heart's biological age be older than your own actual chronological age, like the age that we talk about? A new tool is allowing Americans to answer that very question. Joining us now to talk more about this and the rest of this week's biggest medical headlines, we've got the twin doctors here. There you are. Nice to see you, Dr. I and Dr. J. Thanks for being with us. Hey.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Dr. J, I'm going to start with you. How can your heart's biological age be different from your body's chronological age, or I guess your liver or anything?
Yeah, so I mean, basically, obviously, we know our chronological age, just how long we've been on the planet Earth, but your biological age is going to be determined by a number of factors that affects the health of the organ you're talking about. When you talk about the heart, for example, you're going to be talking about external factors like genetics. Sometimes are you genetically predisposed to having high cholesterol, for example, which can damage the blood vessels in the heart? Or are you genetically predisposed to having high cholesterol or high blood sugar or all of the things that can damage the blood vessels? You're also talking about external factors like lifestyle. You know, are you exercising enough? Ideally, you want to be doing about 150 minutes per day. Do you smoke? Do you drink? These are all things that basically affect the health of the organ that you're looking at. And if the organ's very healthy, the biological age could be 35 and your chronological age is 45. Or conversely, if these factors aren't weighed in your favor, your biological age could be of the heart could be 55 and your chronological age 45. So basically, it just refers to how both factors you can control and factors you can't control affects the health of the organ that you're looking at.
All right, and Dr. I'll give this one to you. Colorado football coach Deion Sanders was diagnosed with bladder cancer earlier this year. So, Dr. I, talk to us about the prevalence of bladder and colon cancers in America and preventative measures that people can take.
Yeah, so the incidence of bladder cancer is actually going up, while the incidence of colon cancer is going down. And you know, it's interesting. So we've noted that bladder cancer is increasing, and there's always a genetic component to these things. But again, like Dr. J was talking about with chronological age and biological age, there's also a lifestyle component. And so again, a lot of these are things that you can control. So bladder cancer is increased if you have certain things in your diet. People that drink excessive amounts of alcohol, things of that nature. Now, when it comes to colorectal cancer, what's interesting is while the rates of colorectal cancer are going down thanks to screening mechanisms like fecal occult blood testing and colonoscopy and stool DNA testing, what they are finding is that people are being diagnosed at younger ages with colon cancer, and that cancer is actually more aggressive. So while the rates are going down, the cases are becoming a little bit more aggressive. And so what they've started doing is, if you remember back in the day, they said when you hit 50, get that screening colonoscopy. Now they're recommending, and I had to do it, that when you hit 45, you get that screening colonoscopy. And if you've got a family member that's been diagnosed, a first-degree relative, you want to do it 10 years younger than they were at the age that they were diagnosed. So more, so less colon cancer, more bladder cancer, but more aggressive colon cancer.
The older we get, the more screening we have to do. The screening saves lives, but lifestyle choices saves lives too. Positive lifestyle choices.
True.
Doctor, on to this one, last but not least. I'm sure you've seen this new dieting trend on social media called Fibermaxxing. I actually hadn't heard of this one, but it's basically you just add a whole buttload. Can I say that on TV? Probably shouldn't have said that. But fibrous foods. And the reason that I said that was because if you have too much, it's not great. If you have the right amount, it's exactly what your body needs, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Well, but the thing with fiber, too, is that people think about fiber from the perspective of regularity, which is super important. But this Fibermaxxing trend isn't the worst thing. And the reason is that most Americans don't get enough fiber. You know, I was reading something recently where they said basically 90% of women in the United States don't get the amount of fiber they need. Men, about 97%. And being deficient of fiber isn't just bad in terms of your regularity. When you get enough fiber in your diet, it's super beneficial for your blood sugar. So people who get enough fiber tend to have lower blood sugar. They also have lower blood cholesterol. They have a lower incidence of cancer. And part of the reason is when you put fiber into your digestive system, the healthy bacteria love it. They see it, they eat it. If you don't put fiber into your diet, the healthy bacteria still will eat. So then they start to eat other things around like the lining of the colon. What ends up happening is that then insults the immune system because the immune system says, hey, these bacteria shouldn't be here, shouldn't be doing this. The immune system creates systemic inflammation, and that can lead to all kinds of diseases, from cancers to Alzheimer's to depression. And so, you know, if you overdo the fiber thing, you may get some GI upset, some bloating, some discomfort, but it's probably not the worst thing.
Right. Okay. You know, and it is a trend, not just on social media, but we're seeing it at the grocery store too. Everything is high protein right now and extra fiber right now. But really, wouldn't you say the best places for us to be eating our fiber isn't from something out of a package anyway? It's usually like a real fruit or a real vegetable. Dr. J, I'll let you answer that.
So I was just going to say, absolutely, dietary fiber is the way to go. So yes, you can get the soluble fiber that you put in your water, and again, that's good for regularity. But dietary fiber is where you're going to get those health benefits that Dr. J was talking about, and it's
Yeah.
easier for your body to digest, so less of those GI side effects. So dietary fiber, 100% the way to go.
Yeah. All right. And it helps you stay full and satisfied and keep you, from snacking too much between meals. Dr. I, Dr. J, thanks for your
100%.
time. Great to see you.